Continuing transitions and change and presenting the breadth of spoken word, our next performer is going to be doing an excerpt from her memoir, her story of her life. I'm really excited about this. Her name's Pamela Denchfield. Pamela Denchfield came of age in rent and project housing on the banks of Cedar River. She interrupted her high school career with stays in Tucson and Sacramento. She now lives in a mountain cabin near Duval. Please welcome to the stage, Pamela Denchfield.
The truck driver. Hal gripped the steering wheel and stepped on the gas, a glint in his eye matching the bulge in his pocket. $8,000. We were an hour outside Tucson, headed toward Las Vegas. Our little Honda was the only car on that freeway, 4 lanes on each side of the median. In Tucson, every season tilted toward the sun. Even this late winter, heat stifled us as we approached Phoenix. How dreaming of doubling the money from the car accident. And me? I was along for the ride. My throat and thighs burned when I noticed our speed decreasing. I peered at the odometer, 40 miles per hour. Why are we going so slow? Hal lifted the shiny chrome knob out of one slot and into another. He trained his focus ahead of him. As he guided the car toward the shoulder, Huey Lewis crooned, "Yes, it's true, I'm happy to be stuck with you," on the radio. This song always reminded me of the fairy tale bubble that Hal and I had created in Tucson, free of my mom, Mike, and Leonie. Now our future was more secure. We'd received the insurance settlement. My fake ID was taken at face value, and I was deemed a legal adult. At age 19, Hal wasn't going to jail for being with a minor, and I was safe from Mom. So I was stuck with Hal, stuck with him, and happy for it. Even if the sun beat down on us, pressing me. Out of gas, Hal put the car into park and turned off the engine, putting a stop to Huey Lewis's voice. We were somewhere north of Phoenix on that desolate freeway. An orange Pacer passed us by. Hal reached for his Marlboros, grabbed one, then felt around in his other pocket. But what do we do? The hot leather seared my bare legs and I shifted them, looking in vain for a comfortable position. I opened the door. The pavement stretched out flat and wide with 4 lanes in each direction. Tumbleweeds blew off the freeway. I wanted to tie my hair back, feel the air on my neck. We'd passed the last gas station a half hour ago. How long would it take to walk? A day? 2 days? Hal had that look of anticipation before the hit. He lit his cigarette and brought it to his mouth. He inhaled and then pulled the cigarette out to speak. "You get someone to stop." "Me?" I turned toward the freeway as a pickup passed. "Yeah," he took a drag. "Stand there." He jutted his chin out behind us, motioning to the back of the car. "Stick thumb out. Somebody give us a ride." Give us both a ride, I thought. I can deal with that. I crossed my fingers for more traffic and then made my way behind the car. Hal retrieved the gas can from the trunk, which he placed next to me. No cars yet, though. "Soon we get gas, you'll see." He tossed his cigarette to the ground and stepped on it. "Vegas gonna make us rich. Gonna play blackjack or craps. That's how you make money." I turned away, giggled. "Really?" I forgot to watch the road, and the yellow Volkswagen Beetle snuck up on me. I stuck out my thumb. The Beetle changed to the far lane and kept driving. A silver El Camino whizzed past. I withered under that hot Arizona sun, my mouth dry. Too bad we finished off that Slurpee some miles back. We peered through the summer haze to find our good Samaritan. The guy on the Harley wasn't it. Hal motioned for me to keep my arms at my sides. I studied the driver, trying to detect what had made Hal hesitate. Maybe it was his leather jacket. But also, he wouldn't have room to take both of us to the station on that tiny bike. Next up, a white semi-truck, emblazoned in red on its side. Thrifty drug and discount stores. Yeah, this one, said Hal. Put them up. I did. The semi slowed, then pulled over in front of our Honda. The muscles on Hal's forehead jumped, which meant he was thinking hard about something. I followed his gaze. The driver door opened, and out leapt a portly man with sparse gray hair. He waved at us, smiling, as he made his way closer. Hi, my name's Fred. He shook Hal's hand and then mine. Looks like you could use some help. He gazed at me. Thanks for stopping, I said, turning back to Hal. Hal lifted up the gas can. We out. Can you give ride to station? Fred looked me up and down, taking in my cut-off jean shorts and tank top. Happy to help, he said. I could drive you to the exit a few miles down. Fred motioned beyond the horizon. From where we stood, though, I could not see any hint of civilization. Thirsty. I was so thirsty. My pulse quickened. Was Fred telling the truth? Would he safely return us? The asphalt, nice and level, extended forward a mile or two before dissolving into a hazy mirage of nothingness. The freeway appeared to head straight into the sun. You can't see it just now, said Fred, but there's a 76 off the next exit. Bring you back in a jiffy. He turned toward Hal. You should probably stay with the car, though. They might tow it away. Hal's forehead bunched, then cleared. I could almost hear the whirring of his mind as he weighed our options. Yeah, that's a good idea, Pam. You go with him. I searched Hal's eyes. Did he trust this guy? Take dollar for can. Automatically, I reached out for the bill and pocketed it. Why had I just done that? I chastised myself, but Hal knew who to trust, right? Now I would walk to the truck. I would climb in next to Fred. I would fill the gas can and come back. This is what I decided I would do, but my legs would not cooperate. It's okay, Pam, you go. Hal's eyes drilled into Fred. I glanced at Fred, who was openly gawking at me, though his eyes were soft, not ravenous, like the guys at the pool hall. Hal said, "It's okay." Hal said, "It's okay, so it's fine. I will be fine," I told myself, willing my legs to move. To buy time, I grabbed Hal's hand and leaned over to kiss him. I decided to make a show of our coupledom for Fred's benefit. "Bye, honey," I said to Hal. "See you soon." And then I was walking. Fred was walking beside me to the passenger door. Keep looking forward, I told myself. A ladder on the side of the truck led up to the cab. "Pam, is it?" Fred asked. I kept my face forward and half nodded, wishing Hal hadn't outed my real name to this stranger. "Here you go. It's easy. Just jump on up." I gripped the side rails and jumped. At the top, I found the door handle and pulled. The cab was filled with discarded burger wrappers and styrofoam coffee cups. The driver's door opened and Fred appeared. "You'll be back in a jiff," he repeated. I turned back to the rearview mirror. Hal watched us as he smoked another cigarette. I watched Hal watch us, wishing I could read his mind. Fred turned the key in the ignition, and two things happened. The AC, blessed AC, it started blowing cold air on me, and the radio blared to life with a jingle. Give me a break, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Fred lowered the volume. No, you don't need to worry about nothing with me, Pam. I shrunk away, expecting to feel his hand on my leg. An awkward moment passed. Still, I felt Fred's gaze on me like sticky glue, so I kept my own eyes oriented at the rearview mirror. Hal threw his cigarette on the ground. My heart leapt up my throat, and I wanted to know what Hal would do if he were in the cab. What would he say? But Hal wasn't there. I couldn't steady the muscles jumping by his brow. I could only just barely make out his figure and his eyes pressing up on us. Hal was not here. I had to figure it out myself. I decided right then to meet everything that happened head on. I turned my full face toward Fred for the first time. Play it cool, I thought. I would pretend everything was fine. I would brave up. I tugged the corners of my mouth up to match his smile. Thanks again for stopping. Fred nodded to himself as if he'd made a decision. His smile settled as he eased his semi onto the freeway. Behind us, Hal waved from the tiny Honda, soon becoming a speck in the semi's exhaust. "You see," said Fred, "I know these roads. Been driving the freeways for 10 years now, Pam. Down there by your feet is my little cooler, where I keep soda and stuff. See it?" Happy to break eye contact, I searched the littered floor and found the light blue box, Coleman printed on its side. I yearned for something to relieve my dry mouth. "Have a cola," he waved dismissively at the cooler. "I got plenty." I opened the lid and pulled out a Pepsi. It felt so good going down my throat. Fred regaled me with his work history, what he shipped where. I braved up to meet his eyes and smile. All the time, keeping an eye on the mile markers. 133, 132, 131. Out the window, the pavement looks so far away. If I fell out of this cab, I'd probably break something. There was the sign for the 76 gas station. Fred turned on his signal and took the exit. I breathed. Fred parked his big rig. "Now, before you hop out, Pam, you know how I keep my food in the cab?" I pasted on a smile and nodded. "I sleep here too, and there's another bed above me." He motioned above his head to an open space. My heart leapt up my throat again, and I froze. I met me another girl, young like you, who needed a place. I gulped. She stayed up there for 3 years, but she's gone now. I wondered where she was. "You could stay up there too, if you want. Or," here he thumbed back behind us, "I could take you back to your friend in his car. No hard feelings." I let out a breath and turned to look him square in the face. "I just want a ride back." A cloud passed over Fred's eyes, but he quickly rallied. "Sure, Pam, why don't you hop on down and fill that can now?" The clerk took my dollar, and I got more than a gallon of regular. Fred met me at the ladder and offered to carry the can, which was a good thing because I probably would have spilled it on the ladder up. He turned the key without a word, heading back to the freeway from the other side. I watched the mile markers go back up. 132, 133. The truck slowed. There was Hal on the other side of the freeway, standing guard over our Honda, his eyes piercing the windshield. Fred parked, hopped out with the can, and handed it to me as soon as I descended the ladder. "You have a good day now, you hear?" Fred tipped an imaginary hat to me before turning and climbing back into his big rig and driving off. I peered across the 8 lanes of freeway separating me from Howe. I tracked the traffic. After a solitary pickup, I ran. It wasn't until I reached Howe that I realized I had crossed without watching for his cue. And if you want to read the rest of the story, watch for my memoir when it comes out. Thank you.